Welcome everyone in Nigeria and the rest of the world. I am Gimba Omar and this is State of the Nation. Right behind me, data feeds are still coming through all in one place simultaneously on all our social media platforms. Be part of the show, tweet at Gimba Omar CTV and use the hashtag State of the Nation. Now, Nigeria may be at risk unless it finds the courage to restructure. The people have a choice to restructure by plan or by default. A planned restructuring will be collaborative, systemic, and designed to improve the country, yet keep it whole. President Muhammadu Buhari, in his campaign manifesto, promised to initiate actions to amend the Nigerian constitution with a view to devolving powers, duties, and responsibilities to states in order to entrench true federalism and the federal spirit. I'm being joined by public analyst and economist Zaka Bala. He's indeed also a petroleum engineer. I want to thank you so much indeed for coming on State of the Nation. Also, Johnny Michaels, former chairman, Baramatu Youth Development Association from our Abuja studios. He joins me as well. Many thanks to both of you for coming on the show. Nigeria's federalism, let's begin with you, remains so only in the name, as suggested by analysts such as you, and hence it does bring about the question of whether or not the intent is actually positive. Does this in any way differentiate things for different people? How do we get to begin the building process so far from where we are?
Well, ordinarily we're supposed to see our diversity as a strength. We're supposed to see our diversity as a sort of unity. But unfortunately, we are somehow glued to our respective regions, to our respective tribes, and probably to our respective religions, which is very, very serious. You see, generally, when you talk about a democracy, there is this feeling or saying that democracy has a universal definition, but it doesn't have a universal application because of the peculiarities of the different countries that decided to adopt democracy. I don't know if, I'm not sure if there is a universal definition for restructuring. I see restructuring as that mechanism that will generate the necessary force that will enable a country to positively overcome political, social, and economic inertias and put that country on a positive pedestal. And that simply means when you talk about restructuring, I want to see a situation where Nigeria will be able to refine its own crude oil. I would want to see a situation where, looking at the number of medical institutions we have, we should, as Nigeria, be able to produce our ELISAs. ELISA is basically enzyme-linked immunoabsorbance assay. You know, I want to see a situation where you say, if Nigeria is actually an organized country with all the medical institutions we are talking about, today Nigeria should be producing its own vaccines and drugs and not just be reduced to a country that can only stamp NAFDAC numbers. So if restructuring is that mechanism, that realignment, that redesign that will positively bring Nigeria out of the social, political, and economic woods, we need to go for it. Okay. But if it is not, then we need to look at the real definition and have a holistic approach on how we are going to take it. Okay,
let's talk to Michaels, Mr. Michaels. I'm sorry. You are a minority group in the Niger Delta. That's where you come from. Do you think that your meaning of restructuring is what is being converged or what is being conveyed by the several groups from that region, the Niger Delta, Pande, for instance, or even the Ijaw Youth Council, IYC? Is your definition of restructuring what is being pushed forward?
Okay, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Hello. I do not understand sometimes where people interpret the meaning of restructuring, how they want it. I'm not really against restructuring, but fine and good. if Nigerians agree to restructure the country, as first, to my personal opinion, I believe the Nigerian leadership needs to restructure their mindset towards the development of Nigeria and their various places first. Because if you do not restructure your mindset towards your people on how you operate your leadership towards your people, I do not see the language restructure people are clamoring for restructuring. I now see it as a campaign slogans for 2019 election from the opposition party. If not, at first, Nigerians need to restructure their mind, folks. A lot of opportunities are being given to leaders in Nigeria that have been managed by them, from their own places and how they manage their offices and the rest. Today, the problem Nigeria is facing today is not about restructuring. The problem Nigeria is facing today, it is the bad leadership. The bad leadership that has brought this country to this present situation we are in today. So if we are going to talk about restructuring, let's ask for the people restructure their mind first. I believe restructuring is for the whole Nigeria and not for Niger Delta alone. Where I came from, if we are going to clamoring for restructuring, I believe the leaders of that region, including myself and everybody, should be able to restructure their minds, because opportunities are being given to us in so many places that being mismanaged by hawks.